Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to all of you on the PMS Girls 1 online class. I'm here to teach you physics. Students, you have already studied Unit 1, that is physical quantities and measurement, in class 8. Now we start our learning from Unit 2, that is kinematics. Before starting my lecture, I will tell you about the topics which we will study in kinematics. These are rest and motion, scalars and vectors, terms associated with motion, graphical analysis of motion, equations of motion, and motion due to gravity. Students, you are familiar with the name mechanics. You have read about it in chapter 1 as a branch of physics. Here I briefly define it. Mechanics is a branch of physics that deals with the study of motion of objects. Students, you know that whole universe is made up of matter, and matter is composed of tiny particles called atoms. Atoms are in a constant motion. You observe that our solar system is also in a continuous motion. Our earth continuously revolving around the sun, and the moon continuously revolving around the earth. Similarly, on the earth, we observe the motion of the human beings, the motion of the animals, and the motion of the air. All such type of motions are studied in mechanics. Students, mechanics has two main branches: kinematics and dynamics. In chapter 2, our main focus is on kinematics. The whole chapter is about the kinematics, and chapter number 3 is about the dynamics. What is kinematics? Kinematics is a word taken from the Greek language, and it means motion. So it is the branch of physics that deals with the study of motion without the reference of the cause of motion. It means that in this branch, we study about the motion, but we cannot study about the cause of motion. What does it mean, cause of motion? Cause of motion means there is some agent that produces motion in the body, and that agent is called force. For example, if you observe that a car is moving, suppose this is a car, it is moving. After some time, you observe that it has covered some distance. If we mention the direction of the distance, then this distance is called displacement. And this car moves with some speed or velocity. When we add direction with speed, it becomes velocity. During the whole journey, the car moves with different velocities. And when the car moves with different velocities, acceleration is produced in it. So, in this chapter, we study distance, displacement, speed, velocity, and acceleration, but not the force. All these are the parameters of motion which are studied in this chapter, but we cannot study the force in it. Dear students, our next topic is rest. The common meaning of rest is still or stationary. A body is said to be at rest if it does not change its position with respect to some observer or reference point. Here the word observer means you and me, any person who observes the state of rest. Reference point is the point from which we observe the motion. Okay? For example, if you are sitting in a class and you are observing the state of rest of table, so you are the observer who are observing the rest state of table. Here I explain the concept of rest to you with the help of an example. Suppose a person is standing at the bus stop. This is the bus stop and the person is standing over it. That person is called the observer. He observes that a car is parked in front of him and the car is not changing its position with the passage of time. So he observes that the car is at rest, or a car is at rest with respect to this observer, because with the passage of time, as the time passes, it does not change its position. Motion. A body is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to some observer or reference point. I explain this concept with the help of an example. For example, a person who is standing at the bus stop. This person is called the observer. He sees that a car approaches him. The car does not stop in the front of him, but the car moves away from it, like the car reaches at this position. He observed that with the passage of time, the car is changing its position. The car is at different position at different times. So, with respect to this observer, as the car is continuously changing its position, so this car is in motion. Objects can be at rest or in motion at same time. I explain this statement to you with the help of an example. We take the example of the two persons who are sitting in a moving bus. With respect to the environment inside the bus, both persons are sitting at their seats. They are not moving. They are not changing their position. So with respect to the surrounding inside the bus, both these persons are at rest, though the bus is moving. But if we observe the motion of these two persons, or we observe the state of these two persons with respect to the outer surrounding, means the surrounding outside the bus, like the observer who is standing at the bus stop, according to this observer, or this observer observes that the bus is moving, the bus is continuously changing its position. The two persons who are sitting in this moving bus are also in the state of motion. So, according to this observer, these two persons are in motion. So, it is concluded that same objects may be in the state of rest or in the state of motion simultaneously. Simultaneously means at the same time. So objects can be at rest and in motion at the same time. At the end, we conclude that rest and motion are the relative terms. It means that there is no absolute rest and there is no absolute motion. I explained this concept, this statement to you with the help of another example. Like, this is the earth and a person is standing over it. This person is not changing its position. Another person is also standing on the earth, and this person is called observer. The observer observes that the person standing on the surface of the earth is not changing its position. So with respect to this observer, this person is at rest. But if the astronaut look at the earth is in continuous motion. The earth performs a spinning motion, that is, the earth revolves around its axis, spins around its axis, and it also revolves around the sun. So earth is in motion according to the astronaut. So all the things that are present on the surface of the earth are also in motion. So astronaut observes that the two persons standing at the surface of the earth are in motion. So according to the astronaut, these two persons are in motion. Students, this is the end of the lecture. I hope that you have learned a lot from it. Thank you.